Hello there guys, Wayne from Luna's World. I hope you're well, and I'm here to talk about VR today, and more specifically VR in flight simulation. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about my general experience with VR, in particular the Oculus Rift, which I've had now for, well, since August. So first of all, let me start by saying that there's been a huge software update with Oculus. So now the Core 2.0 software is out. It's called Dash. It's amazing. It takes multitasking to a whole new level. You can customize your home. Everything is within a click of a button on your touch controller, one of these things, and you get the menu bar system come up right in front of you, which you can use your fingers to tap. It's truly remarkable. It's actually really hard to describe what it's like using it. All I can say is the potential for it is pretty amazing. I'll put a link to another video that specializes in talking about just that thing. So that's the first thing. That leads me on to what you can do in VR, why it's so cool, and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm pretty, like I said, new to VR. In this way. I didn't have the developer kit before this was released. I also, I did have one of those VR things that you put your phone in, and I wasn't very impressed, to be honest. I used it about 4 times. The first time I used it, it was pretty cool. Second time it was like, third, fourth time I just, so that's been sitting in the cupboard doing nothing. So let me explain that this is nothing like what you experience in those VR headsets with the phone. It just can't be, because the computing power in the phone, although powerful, is nothing like a GeForce graphics card that is VR ready. So what you experience is a much higher fidelity. Now there's a lot of complaints about the resolution of this and the Oculus Rift, of course. Now that's a limitation at the moment of the optics in these headsets, but that is going to change really soon. There's already 4K headsets out there that you can buy, and that doesn't bother me. And should it put you off buying an Oculus Rift or a Vive, I would say no, because the experience that you get, even with 1080p and slightly pixelated view, far outweighs not doing it, in my opinion. Now we're going to talk about Flight Sim, like I said, but this gadget, or this new platform, actually, I think is, in my view, without a doubt, the future of gaming, the future of entertainment, and perhaps even will replace monitors in the long term, in not that many years' time. Now that's a pretty bold thing to say. But the truth is, you can do absolutely anything in these things. Obviously, depending on your computer, you do need, at the moment, you do need a fairly powerful computer to make VR happen. You need at least a GTX 1070, 970, I believe, but you're not going to get great performance with that card. I would suggest a 1070 or 1070 and above. I use a 1070. I don't have any issues with performance, and that includes with X-Plane and Fly Inside, which I'm going to get onto in the second part of this video. So, some of the highlights that I've experienced with this have not been game related necessarily, or they haven't been related, certainly not just related to Flight Sim. They've been related to kind of the social applications of VR. One of which is a cool game, a cool little social platform called Rec Room. Now that allows you to have your own dormitory and kind of use that as your base. You can collect items and change your avatar and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too bothered about that. But when you get into the actual Rec Room, there's loads of people around that you can talk to. Now of course this has got a built-in mic, so you just talk freely. They can hear you, you can hear them, there's no lag, it just works really well. You can play ping pong, basketball, disc golf, all sorts of stuff, like a game that's like a bit like Laser Quest. Now you need a pretty big room to kind of get the full, immersiveness of that, and it does help if you've got 3 sensors I only have 2 sensors and it works okay, but when you turn around and you face away from the sensors, you can get a little bit of jumping around and some things don't get activated. So I'll be getting a 3rd sensor pretty soon. Now let me tell you, that was my first experience of VR, and I was just blown away, absolutely blown away. Playing this it wouldn't work on the screen. This is the point, is that there's something about it takes you into this new world. It's so immersive, and the teamwork where you obviously you're playing with other players. It's a physical kind of a thing. You have to duck, you have to kind of, you look around the corner. It just makes it so immersive. It's incredibly hard to describe the feeling that you get. So that's that. I've also experienced Dirt Rally with the Logitech G25, car driving simulator, city car driving simulator, I think it's called, truck simulator. It's amazing. It's really, really cool. But we've all been waiting maybe to hear about my views on X-Plane, and in particular using Fly Inside. Now, if you don't know what Fly Inside is, it's an add-on that you buy that enables VR in X-Plane 11. As it stands now at this time of recording, X-Plane 11.10 has just been released, and there is no native VR within X-Plane yet. That is expected in 11.20, which isn't that far around the corner apparently. So, but I'll do a video maybe when I talk specifically about that. So so you've got this program called Fly Inside that lets you use VR within X-Plane. It takes a little bit of tweaking. I'm probably going to do a video on it to get the most out of your computer, setting it up in the right way. You have to use a thing called Oculus Tray tool, which will set up the super sampling and all that kind of stuff. Now the question is it flyable? Can I see the dials? What's it like? Is it worth investing? The price of the Oculus Rift now, which is £350, the answer is absolutely yes. If you have that budget and you have the computer that's going to run it with decent frames, don't hesitate. Get it. You won't regret it. If you only fly jetliners, I would say, well, it depends how much that 350 is worth to you. If you fly just jetliners, you do no GA flying, you're probably not going to love it, because what you'll have to do is set up views where you can go between them on your joystick, and so that you can kind of really see the dials and get close to them and see the FMC and all that kind of thing. It's doable. I've done it. I've done some long haul flights in it and it works perfectly well. It's a bit fiddly. That might be improved in native X-Plane VR, I'm hoping. But if you just want to do lots of GA flying, which is kind of mostly what I do, it's absolutely incredible. The immersiveness, the feeling of height, the feeling of being in a cockpit, the ambience of the cockpit, everything about it is totally wonderful. Now obviously I have the SciTech panels, I have my joystick, I have the throttle. I don't really use the touch controllers inside the cockpit. I've kind of learned where things are. My flaps are here, my gear's here. I know some commands on the keyboard. That takes a little bit of time to get used to. But once you do, it doesn't break the immersiveness. You get used to it and you're in there, and it's just the most amazing feeling. Now, to the point where I absolutely 100% know that this is going to be the future of flight simulation. Without a doubt, it's too good to not. It's not going to be for everyone. If you get sort of motion sickness and stuff, then you might get some issues, but maybe you'll get used to it. I just think that this is the future of flight simming, and maybe not just flight simming, but maybe computing in general, in the home, possibly even in the office. It's a very exciting time. There's a little bit of fiddling with Fly Inside software and X-Plane to get it to work. Like I said, I'll do a video on that. But my experience is that it's been incredibly immersive, to the point where it's really hard for me to go back to a single monitor, which is what I have to do to make videos. Now, I'd be lying if it was just my output is decreased mostly because of work, but it is a small part of it is that it's really hard to go back and fly on a monitor, and that's the only way I can put it. I'm going to force myself to do it, and I'm trying not to use the VR so much because you just want to be in there all the time. There's no way I'd want to fly, you know, on a flat screen if I wasn't doing videos. So that's how good it is. And what else to say, really? I think that if you've got the cash to spend, then do it. You will not regret it, and don't expect it to be 100% perfect, and also expect to do a bit of tweaking and quite a bit of time just getting it right first of all, and of course getting used to the physicality of it if you use hardware. Now, I wear glasses inside the Oculus Rift, and they do fit. When I first got this whole casing was quite sort of tight and a bit, I couldn't really get them on properly, and it was a bit awkward, but it has given over time, and now it's an absolute breeze. It just goes straight on over the glasses. Contact lenses are also good, but yeah, don't worry if when you first try them on with glasses it feels tight and claustrophobic. That will, as this material sort of just gives a bit, that gets much more comfortable. I can fly for 45 minutes, an hour with this thing on, no problem at all. It's very comfortable, and of course with the base shaker and everything else, the immersiveness is truly incredible. So guys, I hope that's been useful. I hope you got something out of that. Let me know what you think, as I said, in the comments, and I'll be doing a video pretty shortly on my settings for fly inside an X-Plane that allow me to get I think the smoothest possible outcome with my hardware at the moment. Maybe it'll help you as well, I don't know. I'm very excited about native flights, native X-Plane 11.2.0 coming out. Initially they did say before Christmas, but probably not. I think we're looking at the first quarter of next year for that. But yeah, very, very exciting times. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care, guys. I'm going to be doing some videos between now and Christmas, so yeah, enjoy the festive season, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all very soon. Take care.